Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used.
15 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off.
Tiffany Henyard, the recently ousted Thornton Township Supervisor and the controversial mayor of Dolton, Illinois, seems to have a chaotic existence. Amidst a flurry of legal issues, political intrigue, and public uproar, Henyard is at the center of yet another controversy. Her removal off the Democratic ballot and her accusations of reckless spending make it clear that her political future is at stake. Will this, however, be her last moment? Instead, is she preparing to reappear? The drama reached previously unheard of heights one frigid, crowded night in Homewood, Illinois. At the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium, hundreds of people attended the first Democratic caucus in 30 years to choose candidates for Thornton Township's leadership positions. At the center of this controversial scenario was Tiffany Henyard, who fought tirelessly to save her position as Township Supervisor. Since the caucus set the stage for a political conflict with the future of local leadership at risk and tensions running high, many are unsure about Henyard's next course of action.
The caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the.
The statutes required all candidates for Township Supervisor to have a full slate of 8 candidates, including assessors, trustees, highway directors, and clerks. Before the event had started, cracks and Tiffany Henyard's ideas were starting to take form. However, Henyard was disqualified since her ticket did not have a certified assessor, therefore her name never even made it on the vote. However, Napoleon Harris, a Democratic committeeman from Thornton Township and an Illinois state senator, seized the nomination as the Democratic candidate for supervisor. Tension arose when Henyard went up to Harris and charged him of using an unfair and illegal process. "You didn't run none of this the right way," she said, asserting that it was illegal. She was clearly annoyed, and the atmosphere quickly deteriorated. When Harris's followers responded with a mocking rendition of a late 1960s hit tune, the mood grew as Henyard left, obviously afraid. The situation might have been taken from a political soap opera, with headlines that almost spoke for themselves. Henyard had been outmaneuvered. Her political ambitions were scuppered, at least temporarily.
Example of people that's puppet masters trying to control the.
On the other hand, Tiffany Henyard did not lose easy. Outside the auditorium, she said that the whole process was biased against her and that she would challenge the outcome. In fact, according to Henyard, many of her supporters were left out. She had arranged buses to take senior citizens to vote on her behalf, but many of them arrived late and were unable to get into the already packed 600-person venue. For Henyard, this was no coincidence. "This is illegal," she said, threatening to file a lawsuit. "I'll be suing everyone tomorrow." Although her departure was stunning, the aftermath was as chaotic. Henyard's attorney claimed that the caucus rules had been enforced selectively and that her slate of candidates had been unfairly left out. However, Harris's side maintained that all actions were taken in accordance with the rules. Henyard's attorney emphasized that the rules had been made available in advance and rejected Henyard's claims as baseless. In support of the caucus, Harris said, "This is the process that has been going on long before me, and I'm just exercising my role as committeeman to hold a caucus." For Harris, the caucus was a calculated victory. By switching from a primary to a caucus, he effectively avoided having to challenge Henyard in a larger election. Henyard, however, saw it as a calculated effort to repress her and her supporters. While Henyard's political adversaries celebrated their victory, her friends stuck by her side, saying she still had a ways to go. Her supporters mentioned her well-known name and loyal following as reasons why she may have a successful write-in campaign. Henyard's ardent admirer Keith Price said, "I think enough people know her name to write her in." There is yet hope for us, however. Henyard's career has been plagued by scandal after scandal, and her critics see her most recent defeat as a long-overdue reckoning. Over the last 12 months, she has been charged with corruption, reckless spending, and squandering township funds. Township funds were allegedly used for expensive meals, first-class flights, and lavish vacations. After one shocking revelation, critics questioned how Henyard's purported usage of tens of thousands of township dollars for Amazon purchases could possibly benefit her neighbors. Many people felt that these issues overshadowed her remaining political goals. Henyard's leadership style has been described as aggressive and belligerent, often alienating both staff and residents. She brazenly said, "Like it or not, I am your mayor," at a recent board meeting in Dalton Village. The polarization of the community under her leadership is evident from the large number of individuals who turned away from her or departed in reaction. The fact that Dalton has been without a permanent police chief for the most of the year and that your Henyard's hand-picked interim chief was just ousted after a judge ruled that he was unqualified only makes her difficulties worse. The morale of Dalton police officers is said to have declined, with many expressing feelings of being overworked and unsupported. Henyard's leadership style and the manner she has run the police department have only made the problems she faces worse. If I'm with someone who just thinks about herself for 32 minutes. The lack of consistent police leadership has not only led to internal strife but has also made Dalton's public safety issue worse. Residents have voiced concerns about an increase in crime, and some have accused the Henyard administration of underfunding police operations. Her focus on personal protection and the hundreds of thousands of township dollars she spent on her own police detail, according to critics, have left the community uneasy. Even more worrisome are the allegations that Henyard has abused the police force for his own political and private gain. Several local business owners have claimed that since they refused to contribute to Henyard-related initiatives, they were targeted out for raids. These horrifying accusations have shattered the community and increased skepticism about her leadership. It has been described as a blatant abuse of power by certain corporate executives. This problem with Henyard's leadership has affected Dalton's financial status. In addition to a declared deficit, her administration is accused of blocking grant funds for significant community projects. For instance, a $400,000 grant intended to revitalize nearby parks is in risk of expiring because Henyard's office allegedly neglected to provide the necessary clearances. Authorities in the Park District have publicly reprimanded her for allegedly prioritizing political animosity above the needs of the community. One official claims that the citizens of Dalton are suffering as a consequence of this little war. Your actions at that microphone are on. These financial problems have increased the gap between Henyard and her critics. According to one trustee, she is attempting to consolidate authority by advocating for a big wage decrease for prospective township supervisors, while other trustees have said that she purposefully mismanages her money. The trustee claims that she is trying to ensure that no one else has the resources to challenge her authority. This claim has fueled speculation that Henyard views her public appearances as more like pastimes than work obligations. There have also been concerns raised about Henyard's financial management. According to a report by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, Dalton's general fund balance dropped from more than $5 million in 2022 to a loss of more than $3 million by 2024. The research exposed a number of questionable expenses, including luxury products and enigmatic credit card transactions. While some have called Henyard America's worst mayor, others have called for more accountability. Despite mounting criticism, Henyard remains unyielding. She has called her critics political opportunists and pledged to keep advocating for her people. Her words, "The show will continue, but with ongoing legal battles, investigations, and a society that seems to be becoming more divided, it's hard to see how she can overcome the political and personal blows she's experienced." But Henyard's defiance hasn't stopped calls for accountability. Town halls and forums have been organized by community activists and watchdog groups to demand more transparency from her administration. Some have even proposed calling for a government examination of Dalton's finances in an effort to reveal the full extent of what they call unchecked corruption. One activist believes that if she is guilty, the public should know the truth, but if she is innocent, she should welcome a full investigation. These projects demonstrate how Henyard's issues transcend politicians and have developed into a grassroots reform movement. The public has seen all of this unfold with both fascination and disbelief. Social media is buzzing with debate about Henyard's latest problems, with both supporters and critics expressing their thoughts on her future. Many commentators said, "I didn't get a chance to speak, what's left to say? Bye, Felicia," which perfectly captured their sentiments. Another was more direct. The woman must be arrested and her assets seized before she is given a life sentence. Right now, it's hard to predict what Henyard will do next. Will she rally her supporters and make a return, or is this the end of her tumultuous political career? There is little doubt that her story is far from over. The Tiffany Henyard affair is still continuing strong, as seen by the many lawsuits and ongoing investigations. But as the dust settles on her latest failure, will this be the scandal that finally brings her down? Or will she triumph over the challenges and emerge more resilient than before? Or will she triumph over the challenges and emerge more resilient than before? Keep checking back for more developments on this bizarre political drama.